Hi, BIM lovers. Here's a video showing how we can create a Revit 3D view displaying only the structural layers of the walls. This was a question being posed on the Revit forum, and here's a sample view. We have a few different compound walls. There's also a curtain wall for testing purposes. We can run the macro that I wrote to do this, and here is the view created, showing only the structural elements, which you can see here. We can put that side by side with the original view for comparison's sake. And you can see on the left only the structural elements are being shown. We'll take a quick look through the code. We start off by starting a transaction, then create a 3D view. I am going to set the orientation of that new 3D view to match the orientation of the active view, if the active view is a 3D view. Then we're going to go and create parts. So we're going to first set the visibility of the new view to show the parts only. Then on the next line, create parts. We're going to check that the elements are valid for creating parts, because, for example, the curtain wall is not, as we would see in the Revit interface. If we select the curtain wall, parts button is grayed out, and so we don't want to try to create parts for that curtain wall. Also, if parts have already been created for the wall, then we don't want to try and create parts again, because that is not possible. I'm going to build a list of objects that we're going to hide. And then we start to go through all the parts in that newly created view. There's a parameter called dPartOriginalType, which we can, if we select a part in the interface, you see this original type property right here. It's showing the name of the wall type. I would have expected that to actually be storing the element ID of the wall type, as Revit often does with material parameters and other things that are referencing another Revit element. But actually it's storing it as a string. So therefore we're going to get the name of that wall type here. And then we'll find the wall type itself by finding a wall type with a matching name. Then we'll get the layers of that compound wall, and then there's another parameter here, which is the layer index. You can see here it's 1 for this layer, here it's 5 for this other layer. So we'll get that value. Again, I would have expected that to be stored as an integer, but it's actually stored as a string. So I'm going to convert that value to the string and then into an integer. We'll use that to get the layer of the wall corresponding to that number, and then check to see if that layer's function is the structural function. And if it is not a structural layer, we're going to put that on our list of elements to hide. We finish that loop, and then hide the elements. This could be enhanced to be a little more efficient. So if you have multiple wall types, or multiple instances of the same wall type, we would not need to do all of this checking. And that could be an enhancement you could consider implementing on your own. But this gives you the basic gist of how to approach this problem, so that we can go from the existing view showing the entire walls to another view showing only the structural elements of those walls.